Is that correct?
So,
Yes.
I wanted to ask, why did you use the height of 1.47 when the pile cap only starts below that?
Why did I use 1.47? That's a good question. I've been asked. That's why I'm saying these things, so that you can talk to me and tell me what it is that you are thinking at this point. So, what do you think? Is the 1.47 the height there? Is it correct, or what should that height be?
I think so. You must take the level that you've been given from the pile cap, which I can't see that. I think it's 27,421 to 27,027 to get the height that you're supposed to subtract by.
You say I should use 27,427 minus 27,027.
Yes, sir.
So you're saying it should be 0.4 and not 1.47.
Yes, sir.
Well, why do you say that?
Because the pile only starts from that reduced level, which was 27,427.
And that is what we will be deducting, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Can we all see that? Can we all see that? It's only one person that can see that. Not everybody can see that. Yeah. So what we deduct there is 0.24 by 0.24 by 0.4 times pi times 12. Because there's 12 of those. And we also add, when looking at the sizes of the pile cap type B that needs to be deducted, we have those sizes as 2.134 by 0.914. So it's 2.13 by 0.91. And the depth that we've indicated there is 1396, but the 1396 is reflected as 1.4 as we write it to 2 decimals only. So it will be by 1.4. And we will be deducting again the pile caps. It will be 0.24 by 0.24. But what's my next dimension now? It is 27,427 minus 27,104. That gives me 323. So it will be 0.24 by 0.24 by 0.32 times pi times 4. Because we have 2 of those sets of piles as per the information that we were given on the drawing, and that will be then multiplied by another 2. So in total there will be 4 of those piles that we need to deduct. And for these, we also now need to do risk of collapse for these pile caps. We need to do risk of collapse for them. And how will the risk of collapse be? The risk of collapse, if I have a look at my depth that I have that we've ascertained, the 1473 and the 1396, we now have that. We need to do the risk of collapse to those. So my dimensions will be the same. I will not be interested in anything other than the depth that I've excavated. And the depth that I've excavated here would be 13473 and 1396. So my risk of collapse would then be therefore be 3.51 by 1.47 times 2 sides, times 4, because I have 4 of those pile caps. And then 0.91 by 1.47 times 2 times 4. And that is all for my type A pile cap. For my type B pile cap, it will be the 2.13 times 1.4 times 2 times 2, and 0.91 times 1.4 times 2 times 2. So that was for my risk of collapse. All with me? Everybody with me? Right, I see there's a thumbs up. Okay. Okay. We then have one of our favorites would then be my keeping excavations free from water, and that's measured as an item that we need to do. So now I will have to now measure the concrete that goes in there. As I look at that drawing, I can see on that drawing that there is concrete in there. I see that and concrete is separated in 2 sections. One is blinding, and the other one would be my reinforced concrete. So it will be 10 MPa. It will be concrete, 10 MPa concrete, and whatever the size stone is that we will have, whether it be 19 millimeter stone or 13 or 25 millimeter stone, in blinding below my pile caps cast against my excavated surfaces. My dimensions, I can do this in one of 2 ways. I can say 3.51 times 0.91 times 0.1, and I have 4 of those sections of blinding, but I will still have to deduct the piles that I see that protrudes through the section where I'll be casting the blinding, and that will be 0.24 by 0.24 by 0.1 times pi times 12. Because that is the number of piles of type A that will protrude through my blinding. I then also have 2.13 by 0.91 by 0.1, and I then deduct 0.24 by 0.24 by 0.1 times pi times 4, because 4 is the number of piles for type B pile caps. Total, and with that, going with that is, I'll then also have to do my concrete. My 30 MPa 19 millimeter stone reinforced concrete 30 MPa 19 millimeter stone in pile caps, partly cast against our excavated faces. Why partly cast? Because part of that is cast on top of my blinding that you see there. Part of that is cast on my blinding. And therefore, I'll be using the same dimensions that I had for my blinding. So 3.51 by 0.91 by 1.07. Alright, where do I get this 1.07 from? 1.07 is given to me as 1067. When I now convert that to meters, and I write it to 2 decimals, it will be 1.07. And there's 4 of those piles. But I also have to deduct. I have to deduct for this section here where that goes into where the pile goes into my reinforced concrete. That will be 0.24 by 0.24, and I need to determine what that height is. And that height is given to me when I have a look at that, and I look at the levels. The levels would then be 27203 minus the top of my blinding or the bottom of my pile cap, 27127, and that gives me 76 millimeters. Give me 76 millimeters. So I will then multiply that by 0.08, what needs to be deducted. That height there is 0.08, and that is times pi times 12 of them. The same token, I need to calculate the reinforced concrete in the type B pile. And I see that the dimension given to me over there is 990 millimeters or 0.99. So my dimensions there would be 2.13 by 0.91 by 0.99, and I have two type B pile caps. So my quantity of which I will have to measure for the concrete is times 2. And they have to deduct what the protrusion of the pile through into my pile cap. It will be 0.24 by 0.24 by 0.08 as it comes down to the same height that it protrudes through into my pile cap, and times pi times 4 of them. Now, we said that when measuring formwork, we get different types of formwork that we could measure. But when I look at this drawing here, if I can just clear some things on this drawing, what I need to reflect here. Generally, when my pile caps would show, they would then reflect and they would show it will be exposed to the outside, because the pile caps, we said, piles and pile caps are normally fitted or designed to go in areas where the footing or the founding material will not be that strong and firm. So it means that this concrete would be exposed, in most instances would be exposed to for the duration of the time that the structure would be standing there. So in most instances, we would go and we would measure for smooth formwork to the sides of the pile caps. Because the reason for that is that it would then be placed, exposed, my apologies, and you would want for that finish to be a pleasing or aesthetically pleasing one. So when we measure our smooth formwork, to measure smooth formwork to the sides of our pile caps, it will be measured in meters squared. And in measuring that, we would also look at back excavation of the vertical sides of the excavation in earth for working space exceeding 500 and not exceeding 1 meter 500 deep, for placing and removing the formwork to the sides of the pile caps flush against the excavated face. What does that mean? It means the following. It means that when we're looking at this from the top, that would have ground up against it. But we need to ensure that the formwork can get in there, that the support work goes in there, and we need to allow for working space in order for us to get that formwork placed in there. And that formwork would be going in at the bottom here, to be going down here. Now that is upside down again. I don't know why I copied it in like that. But that formwork needs to go in on the side. Then we need to create working space for that. And when measuring working space, we know that working space is measured in meters squared. When they measured in meters squared, we know that it's measured, and the standard system tells us that it goes in exceeding 500, not exceeding 1 meter 500, exceeding 1 meter 500, not exceeding 3 meters, and that is how we measure for our working space. We also have to measure extra over back excavation for working space for excavation in soft rock. Why are we doing that? Because our instructions say that everything that we do, we need to allow for 10% of whatever it is that we're doing when it deals with excavation, that we have to allow 10% for excavating in soft rock and 5% for excavating in hard rock. So even when we're dealing with working space, what is working space? What does it mean? Working space means that we are now, that the contractor is allowing for his or her workforce to be able to safely work in that area, and we need to ensure that it is allowed for. And now we know that 5% of the soil would be hard rock, and 5% of that would be 10% of that would be in soft rock. So we include that when we say extra over back excavation for working space for excavation in soft rock, we say times 10%, and ditto but in hard rock. Now let us have a look at our dimensions. Our dimensions tell us that it would be, flip again. Our dimensions tells me that we need to measure for formwork for the 1067 and for the 990 over there. So it will be 3.51 times 1.07 times 2 times 4 and 1.91 times 1.07 times 2 times 4 for type A. And for type B, we're looking at 2.13 times 0.99 times 2 times 2 and 0.91 times 0.99 times 2 times 2. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to the measuring, to the end of our dimensions for the measuring of the piles together with as the pile caps for drawing RC010. I'll now allow a couple of moments for us to ask questions and move through like that. Any questions? I don't see any hands. Are we all good? Also don't see any thumbs ups going through there. So are we all good with what it is that we've seen? Can I say learned this morning too? So far as the measuring of the power caps are, the different power caps, and how we go about dealing with them. All happy? We have a question. We have a hand. Tutuzela.
Morning, sir. So, I don't think that I'm happy with the depth of the excavation.
You don't think you're happy with the depth of the excavation? The depth from there. Oh, you cannot see my screen. Okay, let me just upload it again. So you don't think you're happy with the depth of the excavation from there, from that to that level?
Yes, because I think according to your specification on the drawing 010, the bottom level of the excavation should be 27203 for type A, before the allowance of the landing layer, that is 100 millimeter.
But you see the 27203 is the top of my pile. And that is inside my pile cap. I cannot excavate to there. I have to excavate into the bottom of my blinding in order for me to ensure that everything gets in there. And that pile cap, that pile needs to sit part into the pile cap. Can you see on my drawing?
Yes, sir, I can see it.
Now, what is the issue with the depth of the excavation? Because we have to excavate to the bottom of this blinding.
Yes. So, sir, before that 100 millimeter blinding layer, so what is that? How do you take that depth? That is 27. I don't see these numbers.
Can you not see my screen?
Yes.
Can you
I don't see them well.
You see the level there is 28,500. That's a reduced ground level.
Yes.
Okay? Can you see this 27,027? That is in yellow.
Yes, and then how did you get that one?
I said 28,500 minus 27,027. You punch in your calculator, punch in 28,500 minus 27,027. What do you get? 1473.
Yes, sir.
Now that is the excavation depth. Because we cannot fit the blinding if you've not excavated to below the level of the blinding.
Yes, I can see that. But I think I need to know, how did we get that 27027?
That level is given to us. It's on the drawing. The level is given to us as 27027.
27027.
Yeah.
Is it on the specification, sir?
It's on this drawing that I've also uploaded. The one that you see here, I've also uploaded this onto the MS Teams.
Okay, I think I'll go back and check.
I can also, let me just, if you have a look at what the drawing says, this is what we did. The piles we cast to the level 27427 and later stripped that. We're given that 28,500, which is ground level. It says that the piles are 600 millimeters from reduced ground level to the bottom toe.
Yes, okay.
Right? So, and then, but we were also given, and here we say that the piles, that giving the level at the top of the piles for type A, and we are given those levels. That is for the piles only. Then the next drawing that we have, which I have also uploaded, is this one that shows where these levels come in. The details of all of those shows on there where we get those respective levels from.
All right. No, I can see. I thought that this one was just showing how these levels that are specified on the specification.
No. The levels with this drawing was also given as part of the upload.
Okay. No. I can see it now.
Okay. So you have that now.
Yes, I will have them.
Okay. So you'll be able to work from those.
Yes, I will be able, because if I have seen, it's just that I thought you were analyzing how these things to be read from the specification, not knowing that those were not appearing on the specification. Then I could find out on this particular drawing.
Yeah, I do understand that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. Are there any other questions? Mr. Mutlele.
Hello, sir.
Yo.
My question is there where we excavate for the piles.
Yes.
The part where we deduct the actual protrusion of the piles for pile type B.
Come again, Ms. Mutlele. I did not get that.
You see where we excavate for the pile caps.
Yes.
There's the part where we deduct the protrusions for the pile for the actual piles.
Yeah.
There where we deduct the type B piles. I just want to understand the depth there because I see it says I'm getting a different depth.
You're getting a different depth.
Yes.
What's that? 27.
You see, we deduct. We say 4 multiplied by pi times 0.24 times 0.24 times 1.40.
Oh, that must be 176, no? Did you get one? Because we remember we've stripped these power caps back already. The powers we've stripped back to 27280. Should be 27280 minus 27104.
Okay.
So instead of 323, it must be 176. Now I made a mistake there with that calculation there. Please don't shoot me, but that is. So what we go back, that would be 0.18.
0.18. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mutlele.
Right.
You know, sometimes even the great make mistakes, and we appreciate the assistance that we also get from you guys. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions or comments or observations? Right. Okay. If there aren't any, we would now make a shift. We would make a shift over, and we would start out. I'm just going to have just going to allow for us to have a 5-minute bathroom break, and then we would start out with the next section, and that would take us into composite slabs. And if you go into your MS Teams, you'd notice that we have uploaded. I've uploaded there's RC 0016218. It will be a range of it is a range of drawings and workings out that I will just show you quickly where you can see that. You'll find that in files and the class materials. You'll see the first one right at the top there that says composite slabs RC 016, 017, and 018. You can go in there. If you open and go in and see what reflects on there, you'll see that there are hollow blocks, a drawing that shows ribbon block slabs with the workings, also shows trough slabs with the workings, as well as hollow block coffer slabs with its workings. So just take a 5-minute break, a bathroom break. whilst you get that out, and we will be working with those in 2 minutes. Okay, I'll be back in 5.